We've all seen the headlines. Wildfires are tearing through Manitoba right now, and for those living there, it's terrifying. I hope every resident gets out safely, and that somehow their homes are spared. Wildfires caused by lightning? That's out of our hands. Same with the smoke. You can't exactly reason with the sky, but today's video isn't just about the fire. It's to show how urgent things get when disaster hits. But how some people, especially south of the border, still manage to respond with zero empathy. What I saw in that report, it made my blood boil. Before we get to that, here's what's happening in Manitoba, so everyone watching, even outside Canada, knows just how serious this is.
Recent lightning strikes have ignited dozens of new wildfires in northern Manitoba. In the sky, water bombers work to douse the flames. On the ground, firefighters probe for hotspots and create fire breaks. The air full of the sound of generators and thick with smoke. Major hubs, like Thompson, under states of emergency. People told to pack their bags. The town of Lynn Lake under a mandatory evacuation order. 350 residents making the roughly 1,000-kilometer journey south.
Plane was scary. It was my first time on a plane. Lynn Lake it's burning.
17-year-old Braden Skomorowski has left his home for the second time. His dad stayed behind to battle two fires threatening his town.
We just got done a 25-day evacuation in Thompson, and not even a week, we had to get sent out again.
Imagine being forced to evacuate your home for 25 days, finally coming back, only to pack up and leave all over again. That's the reality for thousands of Canadians right now. No matter which province they're in, the wildfires don't care. And through all of this, people are stepping up. This teenager's dad, who stayed behind to help fight the fires, to protect his community. His father is a hero. That's what real strength looks like. That's what Canadians do.
In Nisicawisa Cree Nation, 300 medically vulnerable people, elders, and children are waiting to be evacuated. But the province says hotel rooms and personal care beds are limited. It means some evacuees may need to go to temporary congregate shelters, like this one at an indoor soccer field. First Nations leaders say that's not acceptable.
We don't want to be sending our people to have to sleep on floors and cots. The soccer fields are arenas, especially with their health conditions, right?
Chris Pascoe and his team are studying the impacts of wildfire smoke on human health.
You can't escape that wildfire smoke, and you're right at the source. At the very least, providing primary mitigation things, so N95 masks and filtration systems to try to make it as safe as you can.
The focus, getting people to safety, out of the path of the wildfires, and protecting their communities so they have homes to return to.
You don't get a warning when disaster hits. You don't get to choose how bad it gets. Just look at Pacific Palisades in LA, wiped out. In moments like that, you work with what you've got and accept help from whoever volunteers. You focus on getting people to safety, and you do everything you can to stop things from getting worse.
Peg, so Cam, what's the latest? Thompson being a pretty big community up north.
Yeah, let's start with Leaf Rapids, though. This is a community of about 320 people. It's not very big, but this morning the evacuation order did come, giving people 24 hours to evacuate the community. Now, although it's not that big, it is distant. It's about 1,000 kilometers by road to Winnipeg, where evacuees are being told there will be a staging area and a registration center for them. So that's about a 9-hour drive for those people to make. The province is also assisting with putting buses in the community to bring people here to Winnipeg. So we should start seeing those evacuees here in Winnipeg sometime likely tomorrow.
9 hours, just to reach safety. I've been fortunate. I haven't had to evacuate since I'm in the city. But I can imagine how terrifying it is. Not just wondering if you'll be safe, but if your home will still be standing when you come back. Stay with me on this. I'm still painting the picture for you on just how critical these moments really are.
As for the community of Thompson, a state of emergency was declared there earlier today as well. That's about 12,000 people. And basically, there's a fire that's about 15 kilometers away. It's being watched. It's not being viewed as threatening the community as of yet, but the community is getting itself prepared. This is all part of just what continues to be a very tense fire season here in Manitoba. Provincial officials spoke a little bit earlier today about the current state of the fire situation. Here's Kristen Hayward from the Manitoba Wildfire Service.
There are 81 active fires burning in Manitoba today. We've had 235 fires to date. The 20-year average for this date is 187.
81 active fires across Manitoba. Resources stretched thin. Crews battling multiple fronts with limited support. It's all hands on deck. Firefighters from other provinces, teams flown in from New Zealand, and even help from the US. A month ago, Alberta was in crisis too, and Australia stepped up, sending crews halfway around the world. That's what happens when the stakes are high. When lives and homes are at risk, borders don't matter. People show up, just like we did for the US during the wildfires in LA. But this next report, it pissed me off, made me sick to my stomach. Let's take a look.
Calling on Canada to curb wildfires, direct from U.S. lawmakers.
Those concerns are absolutely legitimate. There's a lot of significant health effects of wildfire smoke for people.
A group of 6 members of Congress from Minnesota and Wisconsin penning a letter to Canada's ambassador to the U.S. In the letter, they ask how Canada plans to mitigate wildfire and smoke that makes its way south, adding their constituents have been limited in their ability to go outside and safely breathe. The letter adds it's not the first year wildfire smoke has been an issue.
If I had to describe how this sounds, it's like your house is on fire, raging, out of control. You've got crews from across the country and even from overseas showing up to help. And while they're risking their lives to save it, your grumpy old ignorant neighbor comes outside and says, "Are you done yet? The smoke's messing with my TV time." That's exactly what this feels like. 6 US members of Congress, sitting behind a desk, decided that was the time to complain. Tone deaf, insensitive, ignorant. Wisconsin's a red state, so no surprise there. But Minnesota? It's barely blue, yet still just as out of touch. And that's the point. Red or blue, Congress is full of people who clearly lack empathy, especially when it comes to Canada.
This is a complex problem. It's going to need careful consideration, not simply finger pointing, but to really understand the problems and look for meaningful solutions.
There are currently 354 active wildfires in Canada, with 105 listed as uncontrolled. To date, there have been 2,600 wildfires across the country and 4.3 million hectares burned, which is above the 10-year average.
We're learning now that with climate change, we have to rethink and adapt some of our forest management.
And experts say that work is ongoing, while taking issue with a perceived lack of empathy in the letter for those who have lost homes or have been evacuated due to wildfires.
We're empathetic to you, sympathetic to you, and I think that was a little bit missing.
In a statement, the Canadian Embassy to the United States says Canada takes the prevention, response, and mitigation of wildfires seriously. An embassy spokesperson says it shared the letter with relevant Canadian agencies and will respond in due course.
You can't control the weather. You can't control what way the smoke blows.
Look at where I paused the video. The smoke is blowing in one direction because of the wind. No one controls that. No government, no person, no machine. It's nature. We can't exactly put a plastic cover over the border to stop the smoke. And yet, these Congress dipshits think we can just turn it off? This isn't just tone deaf, it's embarrassing. And if you're one of the 6 who signed that letter, you should be ashamed of yourself. Now picture this scenario. Texas is currently underwater, floods everywhere, homes gone, people dead. Total devastation. It's their version of our wildfires. Now picture this in an imaginary way that water somehow made its way into Canada. And we said, "Hey Texas, your flood water is ruining my day. When are you going to stop it? This is real inconvenient for us." The US would lose their minds. So explain to me why US firefighters are willing to cross the border to help, but the politicians behind a desk representing them can't grasp the basics of a wind-driven wildfire? Minnesota, I've lost respect for you. Blue state or not, your letter says more than you think. And I'm putting it right next to, we don't need anything from Canada. Same ignorant energy. I said it in my earlier Gander video. Even when the US is cold to us, we help. That's what Canadians do. But after this, a big part of me wants to look at Texas and say, good luck, you're on your own. If you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and share it. And if you're still here, check out the other videos on your screen now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.